Welcome to Inner Alchemy with Georg Stuby, Trauma Healing and Plant Medicine, where we explore the deep transformation that happens when we reconnect with the body and integrate expanded states of consciousness. Through real coaching and therapy sessions, we dive into the wisdom of the nervous system, the healing power of plant medicine, and the journey of releasing trauma. I'm Georg Stuby, psychologist and musician specializing in the trauma-informed work with plant medicines and with somatic psychology. Welcome to this podcast. Awesome. Yeah, hey man, welcome to this session today. And as we already discussed before today, we want to work around your last experience with ayahuasca and deepen the integration a bit. So, yeah, tell me more about this experience you had. Like, when was that, and like, what happened? What did you take from it? I would love to hear more.
Thank you. Well, it was a while ago. So it was December 2024. So we're in the summer now, so it's a while ago, 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the Peruvian Amazon rainforest, and there were two ceremonies. Do you want me to go through each one by one?
Yeah, you can share a bit like what you experienced and all of that.
In the actual ceremony itself, it's in the trip itself. You know, on the first one, gosh, can I even remember the second one? Probably. But the first one... Oh, yeah, I definitely remember the second one. Here we are. Okay, so the first one... It's interesting because I was quite cautious about doing it, actually, because the last time I did ayahuasca was about, I don't know, 7 years before then. And I got trapped in hell, which was quite the experience, I must say. Which I won't go into now, but it's associated with the second journey that I had. And so I was a little bit nervous, but I was like, I got to go in. I got to just be ready to die and just go in.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can remember from the first ceremony, there were some interesting visuals. I felt quite relaxed. Nothing was too... A lot of visuals, but I felt like I could just flow with it, and it was okay. I mean, I had all sorts of downloads, ideas around business. I journaled a lot. But what I remember, what I took away from that experience was an insight that I had around my parents, actually. And that was probably actually the main thing that I took away from ayahuasca. And I had this realization in the journey where, there was a part of me that, I used to be annoyed at my parents when I was younger, and
Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you. And in the experience itself, I realized something, which was I had come to terms with the fact that my parents weren't the parents that I needed them. My adult self feels that I needed them to be when I was younger. And I've come to terms with that. I came to terms with that a long time. I've got a lot of peace around that, and there's no charge there. I mean, there's probably some, but at least mentally I'm very at peace with that. And but actually what ayahuasca showed me was, okay, you've come to peace with the fact that your parents weren't the parents that you needed when you were a child. But are you being the son they need you to be now you're an adult? And that was really interesting to me. I was like, fuck, I hadn't really thought about that. And I was like, actually, am I taking care of my parents? Am I looking after them? Am I checking in with them a lot? I didn't see either one of them for 5 years.
Wow,
mainly due to COVID.
That's long. Yeah. Wow.
It's a long time.
That's, yeah.
I didn't see,
Wow.
It's a really long time. Yeah, when I was in Bali. I think it's 4.5 years I hadn't seen them. It's a significant amount of time. And only spoke to them, a handful of times, etc. They're quite hands-off. So that was interesting, and I spoke to them both afterwards around that experience, which was cool. And then the second journey Yeah, the second journey, fucking hell. Yeah, that one was more intense. That one was more intense. In the second journey, which was the second day, I yeah, I got stuck in this this realm, which is like a paradoxical realm, basically. And it was almost like I felt like I was on the edge of the simulation of the matrix of the material world, and I couldn't get out. And so it was almost like time was real and not real, and dualism and non-dualism. It's just so paradoxical that when you're there, it kind of makes sense, but you can't really grasp it when you're not there. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
With that, given the fact that you're such a psychonaut. And when I was there, I was like, "Oh fuck!" It was almost like I felt like I was progressing through the layers of Maya. And when I got there, I thought, "Oh bugger, this is the end. I'm about to meet God. Cool. Like, I'm about to meet God." Then I was like, "Oh shit, I'm not quite sure I'm ready to leave, but okay, fine, fuck it, I'm gonna meet God." But God never turned up, and so I was just kind of in this waiting room, and it was so uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. I felt very distressed, and I lost all sense of orientation. So on the one hand, when my eyes were closed, I was in this other dimension, and then I was like, no, I've got to fucking make myself be sick. And so I'd wake up, and I just couldn't find anything. Couldn't find my lights. Couldn't find my torch. And I shouted for help a few times, but no one came. So I was like, right, I'm just writing this out myself.
Wow.
Fuck. And the way that I made sense of that experience, and eventually it wore off, and then all of the guys, we all as kind of wore off at the same time. But the women were in quite an intense experience. But yeah, I mean, the way that I rationalized that afterwards was, it was almost like I had this experience that we are living in a simulation, whatever that means. And I realized that I thought that I was about to transcend the simulation, and I didn't. And the story I told myself is, it's because I'm not qualified to leave. You know, the souls that are qualified to leave are maybe more of a purification than I have attained in this lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. So what I hear in like really brief words is that this first experience was very like personal around the topic with your parents. And that the second night was really like transpersonal with like, yeah, very psychedelic, very like, as you said, like reaching the end of the matrix, and very like something that's not easy to put into words.
Yeah, sure.
And if we could explore one of those two more in depth, which one would that be?
Probably the second one.
The second one. And then I wonder if you connect back to the second night, the second experience. And I assume it was in the night, right? You said you were looking for your torch.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And the way you described it, it sounded like quite a challenging night. And I wonder, like, if you connect back to this place, or maybe like the place you were sitting or lying during the ceremony, like what's alive in you right now? What can you sense in your body?
Yeah, well, it was very distressing. It was very distressing. But at the
Where
same
do you
time,
feel this? When you say distressing, where can you notice that in your body right now? When you reconnect to that distress.
well, I can't necessarily feel it in my body now.
And if it's not the distress, like what gets a bit more amplified from reconnecting to this experience in your body?
Well, when I tune back into it, if anything, I feel excitement.
How would you describe this excitement? Where is that present in your body right now? I see you yawning. It's always a sign of the body that the body is regulating and releasing something.
My body feels pretty neutral everywhere.
Pretty neutral everywhere. That's awesome. So I heard you say your body feels pretty neutral. And so far I heard you also share that you remembered a bit of the distress of this night, not in a strong way. I heard it in the background, and also I heard you share that you felt some excitement that was coming up when you thought back about this night. Is there anything else that's alive in you regarding this second night?
There's nothing that's necessarily alive inside me, but there's a remembering of the sense of fear as well.
A remembering of the sense of fear?
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Well, there was this part, on the one hand, there was a part of me that knew what was going on. And then on the other part of me, I was lost in a void.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no anchoring.
And
yeah.
Go
when
on.
I asked for help at one point, but no one came. And so I didn't ask for help again. And so I was just riding it out. Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, so it was uncomfortable to ride it out by yourself and to have this part that feels lost in a void. And asking for help and not receiving any help.
Yeah.
And I wonder, if you can sense any kind of emotion around all of this.
No, not really.
You voiced there was a part that felt a fear of being in this void and having no anchor.
Yeah, sure.
Can you connect more to that fear?
Yeah, I can. I mean, it's more mental. I don't feel it in my body.
Okay.
It's more of a remembrance.
Yeah.
But the emotion throughout the experience was more of just distress.
Yes, stress.
But there was a distressedness. It was just a discomfort. I was very grounded in it, and at the same time, it was still uncomfortable.
Yeah. And when this discomfort, if that discomfort could speak, what would it say?
Say, I can't wait for this to be over.
I can't wait for this to be over. And if you would ask this part that is saying that, I can't wait for this to be over, if you would ask this part as you would ask a human being, how old are you? What would that part say?
13.
13, okay. And wonderful that you can sense that and you can just go with your intuition around those questions, and it doesn't need to make sense right now. So there is this 13-year-old part that says, I just can't wait for this to be over. What does this part want you to know about it? So if you ask it, what do you want me to know about you? What would that part say?
It says, I am unstoppable.
I am unstoppable. And I see you smiling.
Yeah.
What's coming up with that smile?
The smile for me is, these types of experiences where I tune into the body, etc., I tend to find that I have a lot of resistance around it, and I find it a little bit frustrating sometimes, because very often I can't necessarily feel anything. And there's a part of me thinking sometimes that I'm just making stuff up, or that I'm reaching. And I just said to myself, well, I'm just going to allow my intuition.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not ever going to think anything. I'm just going to allow my intuition to speak whatever. And then I just laughed to myself, thinking, well, this will be fun. Let's see what comes up.
Yeah, awesome. I know you work a lot with intuition, and there you also know it doesn't need to make sense. And sometimes we feel like we were making it up, and that's kind of part of working with intuition, or with channeling, all of that, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So let's just see what happens.
Yeah. And you said like there's sometimes also a part that feels frustrated of not being able to go into the body like quite easily. I wonder like how alive is that part right now?
Not alive at all.
Not alive at all. Okay. Have you ever connected to the part that makes it difficult for you to go into the body, that keeps you out of your body?
Mm.
And if not, that's something we could explore now. And I wonder, like, A, would you like to do this? And B, if yes, where is this part? Where is this part right now?
Sure. My chest.
Your chest. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And again, we can ask this part, how old are you?
9.
9. Wonderful. And I wonder, can you see that part, and can that part see you?
Yeah.
How is it for this younger part to see you in your adult self?
Fucking legend, he says.
Awesome. That's wonderful. And yeah, since this part tends to keep you out of your body, how about asking it, what are you afraid of might happen if you would stop doing what you're doing?
I'll die.
You'll die. So, if you ask this part more directly, what are you afraid of? What is the part saying?
Being alone.
Being alone. Is it okay to stay here for a moment?
Sure.
So being alone. And I wonder what emotion is connected to all of this. Can you sense any emotion right now?
Like a buried sadness.
Buried sadness. And I wonder, can we ask this 9-year-old part if it would be okay to explore this a bit further? Can we ask for permission here?
Yes.
Awesome. And that shows, that the part is realizing, hey, we are in this safe space. You're a legend, and you're totally capable of doing this. So I wonder, like, where do you sense this buried sadness at this moment?
Heart.
Your heart, okay. How about putting one of your hands on your heart? Just welcoming whatever is there. Knowing that this is a part of you, and at the same time it's not you. And see some more yawning. So that shows us again that your body, your nervous system is like recalibrating and relaxing. And how old is that sadness?
Ancient.
Ancient. So in other words, it's really, really young.
Yeah.
I wonder, can you see that sadness at this moment? Or the part that is connected to it?
What do you mean?
If you tune into this sadness, can you see a part that is carrying this sadness?
When you say a part, what do you mean?
Could be a young version of yourself. Could be something that has a form. And it doesn't need to.
I see a teardrop tattooed next to an eye, like how gangsters have.
You see a teardrop tattooed next to an eye, and yeah, you sense this sadness.
When a gangster tattoos a teardrop next to their eye, in my understanding, it represents someone they've killed.
Wow. And who got killed here?
I did.
You got killed. What does that mean to you in this context?
I think what this is, and it comes up a lot, is when I was 9, I was sent to boarding school. And I had 2 weeks' notice in the summer holidays before I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
And then when my parents took me there, they left without saying goodbye. And this is before mobile phones. And
Wow.
so I didn't speak to them for 4 weeks or so afterwards. And it was only when I was about 30 that I realized that was trauma.
Yeah, thank you
And
for
so
sharing
so very often it crops back up.
And thank you for sharing that. And I wonder, since you said this sadness was ancient, can you recall who you talked to when you were like a young child, 9 year or even way younger than that, when you felt sad or alone?
I mean, probably my mother, sure.
And how was that to talk about that with your mother?
You know, I feel like the pain comes through her lineage.
And what is that pain that comes through her lineage?
Ancestral shit.
And it's this pain of the sadness, this ancient sadness, as you said.
Yes.
And here I wonder, if we ask this part that is carrying that in you, how much of this sadness is yours and how much belongs to others? If that part would like make 2 piles of that, what would be like how much of that would be on the pile of it belongs to others and how much on the pile of belongs to you?
20, 80, 20. 20 me.
Yeah, and 80 somebody else. Wonderful. And we can ask this part, would you like to release what is not yours to carry?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Then I invite you to...
The whole thing can go.
The whole what?
The whole thing can fuck off.
Okay, good. Wonderful. Then I would invite you to picture your mother in front of your mental eye. And your father can also be there if that's relevant. And then the whole lineage behind your mother. And if your father plays a role in that, his lineage as well. And you can also visualize like a beautiful horizon above them. And then you can turn towards them. And you can give everything that's not yours to carry back to your mother. And she's in her full self, so she can take all of it. And then she can give it back into her lineage, into the line of power. And all of this can flow through this lineage and can be like, almost like sucked into this beautiful horizon. It's big and strong enough to take all of it and even more. And all of that was stored in your heart and even somewhere else in your body can flow out of there through your mom, through your mother, through that lineage into the horizon. And you can take as much time as you want for that, as you need for that, and you can let me know when it feels complete.
Okay.
Beautiful. And then I wonder, like, if you could invite in any quality to fill up that space that was created now, what quality would that be?
Love.
Beautiful. And then you can imagine that this horizon has cleared itself and it's like filled to the brim with love, and that this love is flowing from the horizon through the lineage, through your mother, through your parents, into you, into this space that was created when you, just have let go of all this pain and all this aloneness and all this suffering. So all this love can flow into you right now in this moment. And also here you can let me know when that feels complete.
Okay.
How does that feel in your body right now?
Good.
What does good mean? How would you describe that in sensational language?
Light and peaceful.
Light and peaceful. Beautiful. So let's take a sacred pause here, so that this light and peacefulness can really land in you, in your body. Is any kind of color attached to that?
Pink.
Nice. So you can see how your body fills itself up with this pink energy, and how it spreads, yes, with every breath through your body. And there's a big yawn, so a big release here. And you can see yourself filled up with this pink energy. You can let it radiate even beyond your body. And the increasingly pleasant and good emotions are letting you know that you're heading into the right direction with that. And how is this 9-year-old part now that didn't give you access to your body? How is that part feeling in this moment?
Adequate.
Adequate. Yeah, and I wonder if that part can already grasp that giving you access into your body is actually really beautiful for you and for this part and for everyone involved. And I wonder, what kind of a new role could this 9-year-old part take? What kind of role that actually is really supporting you as the man you are today?
He could receive more love from me.
He could receive more love from you. Would that part be willing to let you know gently if it needs more love from you?
Yes.
Awesome. And is it okay to give it more love?
Sure.
Nice. And I wonder, how far are you away right now from this part in meters?
Inches.
So quite close. How would it be to give that part a hug?
Well, it's sitting on my heart.
Beautiful. And how about letting this part know, I'm always here for you. I'm never going away. And I'm willing and capable to give you all the love that you need.
Okay.
How's that for this part?
Good.
Awesome. Beautiful. And to round this off, like, I wonder if there's a place, and this place can be like, can exist in your imagination or in the world out there. I wonder if there's a place where this 9-year-old part would feel particularly safe and protected and good.
Can you say it again?
I wonder if there's a place where this part feels or would feel, particularly safe and good and protected.
Yeah, I think around tribe.
Around the tribe. So how about bringing this part there, going there with this part? And then you can let this part know that you're always right here when it needs you. That you can always put your hand on your own heart and channel this pink energy. And there's like an unlimited reservoir of love to send to this part. Yeah. How about taking a deep breath in and out? And yeah, we are almost on time. I'm sure we could, from this place explore this second night even more. And yeah, to round this off, I'm wondering, what are you harvesting from this exploration? What are you taking with you?
Thank you. Well, I'm taking with me how important it is to get into one's body.
Thank you. That's awesome.
I'm taking with me this insight around how I have an avoidance of wanting to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And not always, but it's almost like allow myself to create the space to do it, I think.
Yeah. And how about saying there's a part that in me that avoids this, and that maybe first needs to feel a bit more safe, and then it's actually quite easy for you to go there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And I think there's also a part of me that's like, in some respects, I almost feel like my understanding of doing that kind of somatic alchemy is that it's not like you do it once
That's
and
correct.
it's gone.
No.
It's like you're slowly washing a stain out. It's probably the wrong way to look at it, but like, if you know what I mean, it's like, I remember I got a stain on my white trousers, another pair of white trousers, and my brother's wife, so at my brother's house at the moment, my brother's wife said to me, "We'll come out in like 4 washes," and I was like, "Really?" I was about to chuck it in the bin, and it did. It came out in like 4 washes. And
that's a good metaphor, actually.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing for me now. It's that realization that came through in this session is like, no, it's a slow, gentle alchemy releasing.
Yeah.
And actually, and from the fast food, we want everything quick. I'm guilty of
me
modern
too.
age. I think that's just an important story to tell myself going into it.
So that it can take time, and that it's allowed to take time, and like repetition, basically.
Yeah, I think exactly. It's about accepting it will take time and repetition,
and
like mastering anything.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, like you also don't get a 6-pack from going to the gym once and doing like one really hard workout.
We will invent a pill and we'll become billionaires, good sir. It's coming.
So you shared the insight with me that it's sometimes difficult for you into your body. We realized when we take care of the parts that kind of tend to keep us out of the body and they feel safe, it's actually easy to connect with it. And you shared this insight with me that, this metaphor with your white pair of trousers, that it can take multiple washes to wash out what was, to wash out a stain. So I'm wondering, if you take all these insights, what new opportunity do you see for yourself in your life based on those?
I think there's an empowerment that comes from knowing that I get to tune into my body and feel things more, as
Yes.
opposed to always operating from the mind. So for example, like, I think one of my coping mechanisms from that traumatic episode of childhood was emotional eating, which makes
Thank
so
you.
much sense, and I've got to the stage, I'm 36, I'm relatively mindful. So if I'm going to emotional 8, 99% of the time there is a grounded conscious awareness of a decision that I get to choose. Will I take this action to eat whatever it is, or will I not? And I think what this has done, so it's one thing having slowing down and making a conscious choice to emotionally eat. But also I think there's a new possibility of like, oh, well, what's my body telling me here? What's underneath this now?
Yeah.
And, is there a part of me that, I was talking to somebody, I had a session with a witch last week. Really good. I'm going to connect you with her. She's great. Really good. I got to say, I've had a session with a lot of witches, and she's up there. And to anybody listening now, I use the word witch playfully. She doesn't fly around in a broom. But she did go to Hogwarts. And, she's a priestess, spiritual, new age, tuned in, beautiful soul, mother, just lovely. And very aware, very intelligent, full of wisdom. I'd go as far as saying she's my number one person I'd refer anybody to.
Wow.
Anyway,
Amazing.
yeah, if they wanted that. So she's coming, highly praised. She said to me, really beautiful, she said, we're talking about shadow work. And she was like, you should have spoken to my higher self beforehand. She said, look, the thing with shadow work is, yes, you can do a training, and yes, you can do this, and yes, you can hire somebody and they can help you facilitate. And know that actually, as you are navigating reality, this is my way of translating what she said, as you are navigating reality in the mirror world of Maya, you'll be shown your triggers and your shadows all the time.
100%.
And you get to alchemize them. You get to alchemize them in the very moment.
On the spot, yeah.
And on the spot. And so it doesn't need any kind of like grandiose thing. It's like you're going to be shown them, have the mindful awareness, and you'll see the alchemy occurs by virtue of how you choose to respond in the moment to that stimulus, fundamentally. And that was really empowering. And I think what I'm taking away from this is, well, there's a deeper level of awareness.
Yeah.
It's like me as a 36-year-old man compared to my 5-year-old nephew. I have a very different, not only awareness of my reality, but a cognitive ability to rationalize, and I have more concepts from which to understand deeper. And so what I'm taking away from this is this has expanded my horizons and my paradigms of perception, and how I get to alchemize in the moment my shadows by actually utilizing my body. And then
That's
I think that where somebody listening to this, if they're thinking, oh shit, I was about to hire George, I'm not going to anymore. Whoa, slow down. No. Because actually what I realize is, investing in somebody like you, for example, for me, for anybody else listening, the key is, well, if after one session with you quickly for half an hour, you've shown me a deeper, subtle awareness of getting into my body, what would happen after 50? And I think that, so that's the skill. It's like the skill is by being more mindful, more present in your everyday life, which enables you to spot, oh, I'm about to self-sabotage by eating that, bag of Maltesers or whatever, So yeah, and like anything when it comes to mastery, it's the subtle nuances the subtle nuances.
That's so true.
And so you've given me some subtle nuances.
Wonderful.
Just like, Eskimos, Inuits, excuse me, they have 18 words for snow. I have one. They have a subtle
I love
awareness.
that one. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
There we are.
so, yeah, it seems you got a lot of new ways and tools that you can now work with that in the moment. And that's what it's really about. Like, it can be really, really helpful to do sessions like this. Also because, my calmness, my groundedness is like helping your nervous system also to unwind and to relax and to feel safe. And through that, we can go deeper. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's applying this on a daily basis and to work with it when the triggers come up. And
yes.
What is your next tiniest step on this journey?
My next tiny step on the journey?
Yeah, on this journey of of the things we just talked about.
After this, probably go and buy a pack of Maltesers, I think. Can't get that out of my mind. What is my next tiniest step on this journey? Interestingly, I think spending more time with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Like I'm noticing today I've had a relatively full day of doing things, and just talking to you now, being your energy space, just reminding me of importance of spending time with people of a similar resonance.
So true. And in that light, spending time with people who choose to be embodied and to not dissociate.
It's everything, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And, I've been thinking about this a lot recently. And in physics, because, there's frequency, there's resonance, there's coherence. There's all these subtle, nuanced ways of physicists explaining how waveforms and energy interact with each other, which I've been looking at the subtle differences of all of them.
Mm.
And I looked up something the other day because I thought there must be a name for this. And there is. And what's the name for? Basically, that occurrence when two waves of the same vibration connect, they amplify each other. They call it constructive interference. Mm-hmm. Constructive interference. And constructive interference is when two waveforms of the same height and trough collide, they expand each other.
Yeah.
It's constructive interference. Like when two waves come, ba-boom. And so I think another thing it's just all over my energy field now is the importance of tribe. And spending time with you and your vibration, just like your listeners listening to you. I feel. So thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you. And you're a master. You made me feel very relaxed. And there's this skill, I think, in what you do. There's probably multiple levers, but one of which is that feeling relaxed, encouraging, feeling people relax, and always listen to your intuition. You're very good at that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me on Inner Alchemy. If today's session resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit. To explore more or work with me, you can visit my website, GeorgStuby, Stuby.com, or you can find me also on Instagram as I am Georg Stuby. And until next time, may you stay present and embodied and in flow, and sending you much love.